Hello, and good day, and all that stuff. Anyway, hopefully you guys can hear me. And I need to turn the monitor off because I'm getting a feedback echo. Bear with me, please. What's the easy way to do this? That should do it. Okay. So, I have been really busy lately with several things. Oh, great. Why is my screen going dark? Oh, yeah. Anyway. Ugh. So I was up late again last night, but, it's been so long since I've done a live stream. I figured it was time I better do it. I've been working on a couple of, to satisfy Trina, I've been working on a few hardware things. I picked up a 486 laptop at VCF Midwest. Toshiba Satellite T9110. T1910. And it feels like it was made in 1910. It's got that great, you squeeze the case and it makes that rubbing plastic noise, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, the thing wouldn't power on. Well, it would for like a tenth of a second and then power off. So I figured it was probably the power circuit. I looked it up, and that's a common problem with them. So I bought it. Recapped the power board. That worked fine. Of course, to get to the power board, you have to take the entire thing apart, but that worked out okay. It's got a 200 megabyte IDE hard drive in it, and I replaced it with a CF card adapter. So, one of these, real cheap, CF cards are basically IDE hard drive cards. So if you get the right card and you get this little adapter, you can substitute for a hard drive, and it works fine. I just happen to have this 512 megabyte card laying around, which is a ridiculous amount of storage space for a 486 laptop. Anyway, could go as big as 2 gig, but this works fine, at least for my purposes. Well, it also has a PCMCIA slot, and I have a Transcend CF card adapter, and that works too. There's some limitations to it. It uses FAT16B for formatting, and the problem with that is that Windows no longer recognizes that format. So when I try to use it to transfer files, it doesn't work. Well, if you create a partition on a card that's less than 32 megabytes in space, it's just doing FAT16. So, and Windows still recognizes that. So that's what I had to do. I've got a 2 gigabyte CF card with a partition that is just 31 megabytes of space. Good enough to transfer files. Well, it occurred to me that the other problem with this laptop, besides the battery being dead, is that the floppy drive in it has a belt drive, and those belts are really difficult to get. You can get them 3D printed, but Technite, basically has had one for sitting around for 5 years. He's been trying to get to work, and I just decided it wasn't worth the trouble for a floppy drive. So I pulled the floppy drive out, and I designed this 3D printed cover to fill in the spot where the drive went, and this works pretty well. This filament color actually matches really well to the front end of it. So that took some tweaking to get it to fit right, but I got it. Well, it occurred to me I could use an IDE cable. Oh, what are you going to do with all that space on a 2 terabyte? It's not 2 terabytes. It's 2 gigabytes. And lots of stuff, but anyway. I'll get to that. The reason why I'm messing around with this 486, aside from the fact that, you know, it's a 486, and why wouldn't you? So I redesigned the cover, and I'm working on the prototype right now, so that I could mount the CF card adapter on here. I've almost got it right. I'm kind of dialing it in. So the idea is that this will mount on here approximately in that position, and I'll be able to swap hard drives. And I'm going to put this where the floppy went, and stick a cable on it and plug it in. So hopefully it works. Got a cable on order because I don't have anyone sitting around. For some reason I threw all that stuff out. Anyway. That is the hardware that I'm working on right now. What am I going to do with a 46 laptop? Well, oh yeah, I also ordered a replacement battery for it. I bought a battery pack because it just so happens the way they're soldered together, the cells, will work in this particular battery. I don't have to try to solder it. So I'm going to take the 46. I've already got DOS 6.22 on it and Windows 3.1, and I'm actually going to fiddle around with Turbo C. I used to use it just after I got out of college, did some work in that, and then I'm going to take and put Visual Basic 1.0 on there. I can use up to 3.0 in DOS with Windows 3.1 and fiddle around with it. It was the first DOS-based, Windows-based graphical development environment that I ever used when I was working, and I thought I'd play around with it. Maybe build an adventure game in it or something, if it doesn't frustrate me to death. Visual Basic was a real pain in the ass back in the day. You also had to suffer through DLL hell, if anyone's familiar with that. Windows, early versions of Windows did not segregate DLLs, and if you had, say, a component package of DLLs, controls for your Visual Basic program, and you installed your program on a computer, and there was already a different version of controls and things on there for another application, you could stomp all over that application. It would no longer work. And I was working in Visual Basic for a product, and for Windows 95, and we had all sorts of problems with that. Anyway, that company decided to get out of software development and laid everybody off. So, anyway, so I'm going to relive some of my past, fiddle around with that too. So that'll be happening in December as part of DOScember. So what else am I doing? As you may know, I'm working on an adventure game, my favorite topic. And there is it's finally starting to come together. There's some changes that I need to make to it. I tried to make it so that you could flip between the game and the editor, but there's a couple of problems with that. You have to, I don't want to automatically wipe out the game you're running to reload after you edit, and I can't really save space. Eric, have you seen Open Wacom C? No, I haven't. Maybe I should check that out. I never used the Wacom product, but I'll check. I did briefly play around with small C at one time. You couldn't make large programs with it, but it was kind of neat because you could learn. One of my favorite courses in college was the final, the 400 level class in compiler development. So you had to design a language, build a lexical parser, an interpreter, or something like that, and a compiler for it. And I had a lot of fun doing that. In small C, you can get the source code too, so you could play around with things. I wish I still had that coursework, but I don't anymore. It's long gone. Anyway, so for the adventure game, I'm going to separate the editor from the game. They're in two different stacks anyway. There really isn't much value in being able to switch between them easily. You could just run the other stack. I'm having some trouble with the setting up the menus when you switch between stacks, and instead of trying to spend a lot of time solving that problem, I'm just going to make it so that you have to run one or the other. So there's that. I also added some stuff to the file menu, and I'm not too happy with the way it worked. I think I'll probably implement some of those features as buttons on the main interface instead of in the file menu. So basically in the file menu you can, well, shoot, why don't I show you it? It would be easier. Let me switch screens here. Sorry. My tablet I usually use for controlling the display. It needs to be recharged. So of course I'm having to use the desktop interface instead, and I keep losing it underneath all the other screens. So give me a second. Alright. So if we go into the application here, that is not the right folder. I'm working on a splash screen. So in the file menu, in the editor, it's just new, open, and save. Pretty simple. If I go to the game, oh yeah, I forgot. The game's got intro music, and I don't really want to go through that. Anyway, so there's restart game, which just restarts the game you're on. Open a new game, so you're actually loading the game file from scratch. Save game, load saved game, and then you can export the dialogue for the game you've got in progress. And it's a little kind of awkward for a file menu, but I wanted the save game and load saved games so that you could save, it's a save point, so you could do it. But I probably should just add it as a button on here that you could press. So anyway, that's details that I'm working on. Let's go back to the editor. Yeah, and the closing credits. I don't know if you guys can hear that, the desktop music. Sorry, I can't see the chat. So let's see who's in here. So Dave's Vintage Apple Tech. Good morning. Billgoats. Hey. Who else do we have? We have Trina. Hi Trina. I hope you enjoyed the very short hardware segment. And who else do we have? Eric Helgeson, hey. DOS HyperCard. You know, there was an effort to, I forget what it was called, to create a Windows or a DOS version of HyperCard. I forget what they called it. I actually briefly started making one myself. There was a DOS OS layer that was in Dr. Dobbs' journal. I can't remember the name of it, but I messed around with it, and it was a character-based graphic environment, sort of like Windows version 1. And I started messing around with creating a HyperCard clone in there, but never did it. Gutbomb, good morning. Who else we got? That looks... Oh, I'm Big Bad Biologist. Good morning. So what kind of conversation we got going on? Yeah. What am I going to do with all that space? Have every single thing. Yeah, Bore 86, yeah. I kind of got a soft spot for the 486 because it was my... it was the machine that I learned how to do web development on. I did some LAN party stuff. I used to teach classes in PHP development at one time. So I had a tower case that I bolted a handle to the top so I could easily carry it around. So 486 laptop would have been awesome at the time. Bury me with my spare cables. Okay. We're taking your spare cables if you die, Eric. A separate casket just for cables. Can't get rid of a cable because 2 days later you'd be first. Yeah. I had to purchase a bunch of serial adapters and things like that. Serial cable adapters because I threw all that stuff out 20 years ago. Yeah, Adventure's been going along pretty well. Got some intro music for it now, and I'm preparing for some other goodies for it. And Garth, morning Garth. All right, so caught up on chat. Barely hear the music. Good, because I don't want you to hear the music yet. It's a secret. Bear with me here. Oh, you got my my stickers. Yes. I got some new stickers. Where are they? Oh, I got one on my phone. So there was a deal for half off stickers going, so I made this little guy for the game. So it'll go in the box set for the game. And Eric said Jokingly, I'm sure. He's like, I want 7. So I mailed him 7 along with some other stuff that I send out to people when they ask for stickers. So, how do I get a game sticker? Well, Trina, I didn't buy that many, so I don't have a lot of those stickers. I'm going to reserve them for putting in the box sets. And contributors to the game will probably get a sticker sent to them. But talk to me offline. Well, online, but not on the stream. We'll see what we can do. Maybe I should order some more. That way I could just give them out. And so, back to what I was going to do and talk about. Because, I'm sorry, I'm tired. So, brain. As Joe would say, brain, work. Do brain. Brain not good. Brain bad. That's Steve, isn't it? Alright. So today what I thought I'd do, I've been working on the demo game for Adventure. So it's not the main game, it's just a demo. That way I could release a demo version of it. And use it for beta testing. Because I do have some people that have said that they would test. And I thought I'd go through and use the editor. Now you can actually use a text editor for the game file because it is just text. Let me open this up. Open recent. But as you can see, it's not the friendliest thing to edit. So if we take off the wrap, here's your about, your version. So it's key value pairs for all the text in here, description, and then you've got, the description of the game, and all the locations, the non-playing characters, objects, help, the map for the game. So it's all the locations. All that's in here, but it's not easy to edit. Although I have gone in here and fixed errors and things like that just because. Which is why there's an editor, so that you don't have to do all that. So in here, and you can do things like you can insert sound effects and stuff like that. So what I've got so far for the demo, cover the NPCs. So we've got the Tavern Bard. So you're visiting a tavern, and can I make a trainer for the game? A trainer. I'm not sure. I'm not following what you mean. Please explain. I'm a little slow this morning. So the Tavern Bard is he hangs around the hearth in the tavern and sings and stuff like that. There's Old Thomas, and he's the barkeep. Broke Stonehammer is a dwarf who hangs out at the table, and you have conversation with him. There is an orc, like a program that gives you all of the items of gold or whatever. Oh, I see what you mean. Well, sure, you could. You could, of course, you could always go in the editor. Actually, I don't have the inventory for the player as a separate entity. That's stored in the save file for the game, so you actually start out the game without any inventory. That's a okay. I need to add a note because that's a good thing. I should probably allow you to create inventory. Wait a minute. Cancel. File. Open recent. Bugs. So that'd be a nice to have. Nice to have. Add initial inventory to editor for player. Because the NPCs all have inventory. I could add that in here. Yeah, it shouldn't be too hard to add. Anyway, there's an orc, and you can tell from the health, strength, stamina, and magic, the orc is actually dead. You made one for Floppy Mac to unlock all levels. Yeah, there's no reason why you couldn't. You could hack the game save file and do that. What else we got? John the Shire Reeve. Shire Reeve is the old name for sheriff. And we have Erd Wolf, who was an old Celtic king, I think, or maybe Anglo-Saxon, I can't remember. Anyway, so there's plenty of characters in here. Objects. There's lots of objects. So there's a hooded cloak, a battle axe, a long sword, poison-tipped dagger, throwing axe, mug of ale, mug of stout. No IPAs in here. Although the ale could be an IPA, I suppose. What else we got? Well water, a bowl of grue. You notice that's not gruel, it's grue. Gold and something German in here that means, I'm not going to try to pronounce it, orb of destiny or destination or something like that. Anyway. Help. It's got a help system in it, so you've got a way to get help for everything. And the locations. So the home location is the forest trail. It's easier if we look at the map. So I got a map system in here now. And let's go to the dark forest is the initial place, so you got a forest trail that you're on and a trail campsite. And then from there you go to the tavern, which has got most of the stuff in it. So you show up at the tavern. So this editor lets you, I position the map blocks, and a recent fix that I did was the icon wasn't standard icon that I was using, didn't make an accommodation for the width of the text, the label for the button. So there's a external function that will figure out string lengths based on the font. I tried writing my own, but it's kind of hard because they're proportional fonts, even though they're bitmapped. So instead of reinventing the wheel, I just use the external command to do it. Anyway, so you go from the tavern, you can go to the well. There's also, the doorway from the outside of the tavern door, and then the doorway, and from there you can go to the tables, you can go to the hearth, you can go up to the stairs, you can go to the bar. You can get to, from the stairs, you can get to the hallway, so upstairs, and there's an east room and a west room. The west room's got a bed in it. East room has the orb. So this is a small game, and it's really, the demo is just enough to get you through. You learn how to navigate, yada yada yada. In the manual, I walk you through the game for the demo. So there'll be an excerpt of the manual just for the demo, and I'll have the testers try that out to make sure it works without the rest of the manual, because it's sort of a quick get started, because everybody likes to skip reading the manual. So I want to make sure that the demo version is self-contained, basically. All right, so what are we going to do? So I've got a description of the player. It looks complicated. It's too early for complicated. Yeah, good morning, Steve. Have a waffle, Steve. So, of course, I named the player Ishmael because I'm very verbose in the descriptions, kind of like Moby Dick. So there's a long description. The \n is for new lines, so it will render those. There's a long description of the player. I don't have attributes for the player other than the health, strength, stamina, and magic. In a future version, you'll be able to check, decide how your player looks and things like that. I'm trying to make it androgynous so that the player doesn't really have a gender. But I'd like feedback on that. What do people want to do? I could make a control for indicating gender and make a database for that lookup so that everybody could put whatever gender they want to put into it, and then I could do some basic genders as part of the game. I keep it open is the idea. So I want the editor to be able to be all inclusive and take care of anybody's needs. So right now the player is androgynous, but that doesn't mean you can't put a description in for a male player or female or intersex or whatever you want to call it. So let's go to the locations is really where you're kind of starting out here. So so on the trail, well, that's the campsite, sorry. The forest trail. There's 4 cardinal directions. That's how you control navigation in the game. In fact, in this version, you don't open a door, you travel through it. So you go north or whatever to go through a door. Later version, I'll handle, opening objects and that kind of thing. But right now, it's just travel. So when you're on the forest trail, it's kind of a loop. Other than going to the campsite, if you go north, south, east, you just stay on the trail. So it looks like you're on this long trail. Same description, same whatever. If you go west, you hit the trail campsite. So in the first version of the demo version of the game, I don't actually tell you that there's a campsite. You have to discover it. So it's more like playing Zork or something like that, where you don't know what there is. The description can tell you things like you you know, that there's something towards the north or something like that. But it's up to the game editor to decide what they want to do. You could, you know, keep them in the dark, literally. There's a description with the lamp and without. So if they don't have the lamp, you could say you see nothing. But anyway, for the demo, I don't really, yeah, I need to work the lamp in there somewhere. I don't have that right now. Anyway, the other thing that I can do is I can add sound effects. So I'm talking about the wind whipping at the edges of the cloak. So I think we should insert a sound effect here. Yes, you may be eaten by a grue. Because you can eat grue in here. Okay, so yeah, under media, I've got a bunch of sound effects. So I think we should see, did I grab something for wind, or there's a haunted moan. Lake and water. Magpie chirps. Pterodactyl. I don't really have, well, I guess there's wind local. Let's do that. So it sticks in this text here that's interpreted as sound. And we need to add it to both. So insert sound effect. Okay. This save button just saves it inside memory, so it's not actually saved to disk yet. You can go all over the place in the editor, and if you try to exit without saving, there's a dirty flag, so it'll check to see whether or not you've saved your file. But let's try it out and see what we can get here. Maybe I can get the sound level up high enough that you guys can hear it. So we got to save the file. Okay, we're going to quit the editor. We're going to open Adventure. It's playing intro music, so I don't know if you guys can hear that. Desktop audio is off, so let me turn that on. Okay, I don't have the monitor running, so I can't tell if you guys can hear that or not. You should be able to hear it. So you're getting a sample of the music. Okay, so we gotta start the game over. Now, if I just restart game, it's not loading the game from file, so you actually have to open a new game. Oh, that's the wrong one. It was in the media directory. Can barely hear it. Sounds folksy. Yeah, it's a little kind of like a spaghetti western. A little. Let me turn the sound up. Oh, I can do that here. Oh, for the intro, it's just hard-coded to half level. That's still probably pretty quiet. Let me edit. The audio properties here. Let's see if we can raise the level a little bit. And you guys can tell me whether that will make a difference or not. So, you should have heard birds chirping. Can you hear it now? There's an echo. Yeah, it's because it's coming out the speakers. Okay. Well, you get the idea, even though it's got an echo, I'm sorry. Okay, enough of that. I'll probably implement a click anywhere and it'll exit so that you don't have to sit through the outro. Yeah, oh, the people that did the music. I think it was Eric Rangel. Now shoot, can't remember names. Anyway, approached me and offered to contribute by having a guy that he knows who does game music create some music for me. So I did some emails back and forth, sent him some information about the game, and as far as I'm concerned, they hit the nail on the head with the first take. So I really like it. There's a surprise in the music that's game related that I really enjoyed. That's tongue-in-cheek. So I'm not going to go into it because I thought I'll leave it as a surprise. But yeah, it turned out really nice. I like it. It's almost a slightly Western kind of a theme to it with the guitar. But it kind of lends itself to just about anything, I think. So, anyway. So let's open a new game. And I'm not hearing the music for the Forest Trail. Let's do that again. Could be the way that... Nope, I'm not hearing it. Do I have a problem? Yeah, it didn't save. Okay. Was I working on the wrong file? I should build in a way to sample the music. Oh, that's something else I should do. Another nice to have. Sample the sound effects. Okay, let's save this again. Save the file. Ah, I saved it to media. That's why. That explains it. So what I need to do is, when you save the file, I should probably take you to the game folder as the default, instead of where you picked up open last. Anyway. Alright, so let's quit the editor. This is the problem I've been running into. So it screws up doing the menu when you flip back and forth. So let's open new game again. Okay, I think I hear some wind, but it's pretty faint. Yeah. Let's look again. Yep, it's pretty quiet. I'll have to work on that. That sound effect's pretty subtle. Anyway, so there's the description. It scrolls up to where you last read. So, you know, this was the text that was there at the beginning, and then I typed look again, so it scrolled up to that. That way you can, you're always at the top when you do something, and then you can scroll down. Alright. So it's a rather long description. It's funny. I was the other day I was working, and I started taking notes on different ways I could do characters. So you know, there's websites where you can get character development information and stuff and suggestions, and what's his name from Discworld, Terry Pratchett, is very good. So is Douglas Adams at doing character descriptions that are unique and interesting. So I've been thinking about doing character descriptions that are similar to that. So like this is a description from something. He was a small bandy-legged man with a certain resemblance to a chimpanzee who never got invited to tea parties. His age was indeterminate, but in cynicism and general world weariness, he was several thousand years old, or something like that. So there's lots of ways to describe characters that can be interesting, and I'm working on that. I'm not a writer. I guess I am now if I'm doing this, but it's a challenge for me to do this. All right, so we're at this location. So if we go north, you end up in the same place. If you go west, then you hit the trail campsite. So the sun's descending, blah blah blah. If you and there's no items here to pick up. Go west again. Now you're at the tavern courtyard. So through the trees, you catch a glimpse of a small stone and wooden building, its windows glowing warmly in the dim light, a tavern to the north. So it gives you a hint that you need to go north to get to the tavern itself. And then a long description of what the tavern is like. But also to the south you see a well, so let's go south. Talks about the cool air and the gentle breeze, blah blah blah. And if you see a dead orc, and there's also a well. So let's take well water. Oh, can't understand take because I forgot. It's get. Oh, I'm typing in the wrong thing, that's why. Okay, so you take 10 well water, look at my inventory, I've got 10 well water, drink, water. I gained some health and strength and stuff. There's also a dead orc, so let's look at orc. You see a dead orc. The orc smells a bit earthy and not entirely unpleasant. Must be a recent kill. The orc has a bunch of stuff. Yeah, magic water. So we're going to loot the orc. And I'm going to take his 30 gold, his throwing axe, his poison tip dagger. I need to correct this. The poison should be capitalized. His longsword and battle axe. And if I look at my inventory, now I have all this stuff. Okay. Smelly orcs. Yeah. I guess they smell better when they're freshly dead. So, that's another thing. I have to think about the target audience here. And one of the reasons why I want to have the test game beta tested by some people is that I actually had a few offers from some younger people to try it out. So I'm going to ask that their parents check it out first to make sure that it's acceptable for their age level and give me some feedback on that. So, because it is an adventure game, you kill things, you eat things, you eat meat. Sorry, Steve. You were eaten by a grue, perhaps. So it is violent. I mean, that's the nature of an adventure game like this. I didn't want to do Barbie's Pony Adventure. Doesn't mean somebody couldn't write a Barbie's Pony Adventure inside this game engine, but there is combat and weapons and killing and bloodletting and all sorts of things. Yeah, it is kind of what I want to do. I noticed I had a kind of a early version running at VCF Midwest, and the people that were intrigued about it were teenage girls actually sat down and played with it and kind of liked it. A few adults too, but I noticed that it's because it's a more literary thing. It isn't a hack and slash in the graphical sense. So I think there's a certain appeal to that age group. Anyway, so we've got our stuff. Let's go north again. We're at the door. Go north. Now we're in the entrance of the tavern. Go north again. So you don't open the door, like I said, you just go north, or whatever. So now we're in the doorway, describes the inside of the tavern and, tables and things. So if we go east, now you're at the bar. One of the other features I've got is if you click in the center of the compass rose, you go to the map, and the map shows you where you've been. So you've been to the well, tavern, the door, and the doorway, and the bar. If you click on it, it gives you the description that you see when you say look, but it also tells you what NPCs are there. And if we go back to the well and look at it, here's the description of the well. It tells you that there's a dead orc. So I visited there, and that's why I can see it, and it gives you some information about the place. You know, the tavern. So the idea is that I want you to be able to you don't have to go travel back to a place to see something about it. Maybe there was a clue or something and you wanted, need to reference it. I'm going to add the ability to take your own notes and type them in here as well. That way you can have your own record of what you want to do. Right now it's just a kind of a read-only thing. You could type in here, but it doesn't save it. So it's gone. Anyway, so that's what you got. You see old Thomas. Talk to Thomas. And Thomas starts to talk to you. In the tutorial, you can also buy things from Thomas. So, buy from Thomas. We'll tell you what he has for sale. He's got ale and stout and well water, but we have our own. You can also get a bowl of grue, and there's gold, and there's the value, so it's what the cost is. So you can buy. Let's try to take gold from Thomas. And he's gonna, I cannot accept such a pittance for such lovely gold. So if you want to buy gold, you have to pay with gold. Doesn't make much sense. So let's just buy one bowl of grue from Thomas for let's try to do 1 gold. Nope, you won't do that. So hit enter, you can retype. We're gonna pay him what he wants for it. Okay, so got a bowl of grue. Look at grue. A thick and creamy bowl of grue. A tantalizing blend of herbs, spices, blah, blah, blah. Okay. I misspelled promise. Texture. So obviously I need to fix some typing. So eat grue. As you savor the stew, you feel a sense. I misspelled sense. Blah, blah, blah. And you gain some health and strength. So let's go east. Can't go east. Let's go west. Now you're at the tables. So what kinds of things should we do while we're here? If anyone has any suggestions, could be a nice way to, the grue will be eaten by you. Yes, it's Soviet grue. In Soviet Russia. You eat grue. Anyway, so, you see Brock Stonehammer here. Look at Brock. He's got, you're pretty strong. You could take him. But he's an ally. If you attack an ally, they're going to take off on you because they're not going to put up with that. So we're not going to do that. Buy from Brock. He does have some items. So let's sell water to brown, because you can sell stuff. Can't afford such a luxurious item. Okay, so he doesn't want to buy it. I don't even know if I implemented this. No, you can't give him anything either. Alright. So, take water. So I got one for free. Because he's an ally, he'll just give you stuff. So there's different dispositions in here, and you know, an enemy will not trade with you. Obviously, they'll just attack you. Anyway, talk to bro. So you can talk to him, you can trade with him. So look at our inventory. We've got a bunch of stuff. I could say use longsword. And you get a description of the longsword. And you're not really attacking anyone with it, you're just using it. But if you look at your inventory, you are using a longsword. Originally, I was going to have, you had to use something before you could attack. And the idea behind that is that, you know, maybe you should use your longsword before you walk into a room, because it takes time to use it before you attack. But I ended up not implementing that. What else could we do? I could drop it. So I drop it. If I look, now you see the longsword sitting there. Take longsword. So now I have it back. But I'm not using it. Now I'm using it. Look at me. Get my long description of me. And it shows me the stats. What I'm carrying. Says that you're using a longsword, also lists all the locations you visited, and I've looted 5 items. So there's some stats that you've got. So that's enough of that. Let's go north. Now we're at the hearth. And the bard's singing. And you can look at him. He doesn't have any magic. And he's an acquaintance instead of a friend or anything. Anyway. Go east. Now we're at the stairs. If you go north from there, you go up the stairs to the hallway. Okay, go west. This is where you go into the west room, and it's got a bed and drawers and stuff like that, but it also has John the Shire Reeve. John is corrupt. If you look at him, he's a rival, and then he insults you. So, well, what do we have here? Some stray cat? And because he's a rival, he's likely to attack you. He's not an enemy, but he might wait until you attack him. So, look at me again. I'm using a longsword, so attack John with longsword. No, he's, let's see what happened. You attacked him, I lunged forward and do it. He lost 1 health, strength, and stamina. He hasn't attacked you back. Oh, yeah, he did. The attack by John the Shire fails, so he failed to attack you. Yeah, John's corrupt. Sorry. I could change his name. There is a disclaimer in the game that the game does not resemble, real life, anything. So you're off the hook, John. Anyway, if anybody would like to appear in the game, if you want to come up with a character, give me a description. Tell me what their dialogue is. If you've got special weapons that you want or something, just tell me. I'll add you to the game. I mean, I'm creative, but I'm not that creative. If you guys want to contribute characters and stuff, I'll add them in. Alright, so we're going to attack him again. And he is now dead. And he's got, a poison-tipped dagger. He's a nasty dude. And 200 gold. Eric with the chain of Scuzzy. Yeah, Eric could be a mad scientist of ancient tech or something. That tracks. So we're going to loot John and take his stuff. And in here, it describes I think there's a bed, so go east. Oops, shoot. I keep talking or typing into the message box. Stop doing that, Eric. Go east. I'm in hallway. Go west. Go west. Go north. Go south. Here we go. West room bed. The innkeep did not prepare you for the inviting sense of anticipation. You just slip in the cupboards. Okay. So, one of the things you can do is sleep. Small clobbering sort of intelligence. Oh yeah, we should have the hammer of loving correction. I don't know if you guys know who John Scalzi is. He's a science fiction author, and he has a blog and everything, and he doesn't broke any shenanigans in the chat or commentary on his blog, so he'll use the loving hammer of correction to take care of things. So you can sleep, and if you sleep, you can gain some health. But it also takes you time to do stuff. Oh yes, and part of the stats is the dead, how many you've killed. We can also rest. So you just sit and close your eyes and rest for a minute. So you get some, benefit of resting or sleeping. But if you're sleeping, you're going to be slower to do things. Are the dead grateful? I don't know. You can't talk to the dead. Let's see. So if I look, I'll get out of the bed. You see a dead John the Shire. Talk to John. The dead John the Shire Reeve ignores you. The dead rarely speak to the living in this realm. So, sorry, can't talk to the dead. Maybe the dead are grateful, though. I could change the dead to the Grateful Dead in the stats. Alright, so there's no items in this room that you can pick up. Okay, back in the hallway. You go east again, you go into another room. This room's been ransacked. And you wonder what they're trying to find. Yeah, another typo in here. Some ON instead of someone. So if we go back to the map, you'll see that there's more. You're now upstairs, so it's only showing you part of the map. But there is a bed. And in this room, there's also... Oh no, in the east room there's a bed. No, you're just in the east room. Oh, I used the icon for a bed inside the east room instead of the room. Oh well. I can fix that. Hey there, all things DG. In fact, let's go fix that icon. Working with icons in the game's a little bit weird. Okay, we're going to skip this. Let's go into the editor. Make sure I'm in the right subdirectory. Open. Go to the map. So you see the icon here has East Room. It does have the room icon here, but if we go to upstairs, the East Room has a different icon. I didn't know I could do that. Yeah, I guess I can, because what happens is the icons are stored separately, and you create the buttons on the fly. So I could change the icon depending on which map I'm looking at. That's kind of neat. I could see how you could leverage that. If you were in an overall map, you could just have pips for that location, so it wouldn't be as detailed. That could be interesting. So let's do this. I don't have a way to change the icon in here. That's something I need to do. So that's really a bug. No way to change icon of map location button. Now there is a way I can do it. I can just go into and change the menu. Because I know the secret key to do it. I can go to the button tool. I can open this tool. I could change the icon to my room icon. Where did I leave the room? Oh yeah, here it is. Here's the room icon. Okay, so the icon is now changed, and then go back to the game, switch the menu back. Now if I save it, it'll record in the database which icon ID to use. Does Bugzilla install in OS 8? I don't know. I've never used Bugzilla. But there's no reason why I couldn't write a hypercard stack that would do that. In fact, if I went and looked at archive.org, there might actually already be a bug tracking stack. That'd be an interesting feature to add to HyperCard so that you could mark bugs and then maybe do a tag, a comment inside the code also, and have it grab comments. And one of the things I want to do is you can use your own editor. For the code editor, it's actually an extended control and or command. So I could enhance the editor so that you could mark bugs or track them. Yeah, it's an interesting idea. Oh, okay. So we've got that. And now I need to save the file. I'm in the right directory. Save. Replace. Okay. Quit. Now here's the problem. If I go into Adventure, the information for the saved game is based off of the game you were running at the time. So it doesn't know about the changes that I made to the file. And I don't have a complicated mechanism for merging or anything like that so that you could update game assets. Maybe in a future version I could do that, but right now I don't have that. You know, how would you resolve things like you added or removed objects from a room? If you remove an object from a room, then it'd be inconsistent for somebody to own it. Or you deleted an object. Now you have to get rid of it in the save file. It just would be too complicated. So we're going to open a new game. Yes. Okay, and we're going to speed run through this. We're going to go north, north, north. Oh, sorry, I'm on the trail, that's right. West, north, into the tavern. I think if we go east, we go to the bar, and if you go north, you go to the stairs. Go up the stairs, go east. Now we're in that room. Look at the map. Okay, now I've got the right icon. Go back to the game. I think if we go east. Okay, now I'm looking inside a chest. So instead of opening the chest, you navigate to it. It's a limitation that really needs to be fixed in this, but I'm trying to get it done first, so I'll save that for the next version. But if you look in here, the description describes that there's a hooded cloak. Okay. It also mentions that there's a black orb sitting in the west corner. So that's a location, not an object, which is why there's no description that says you see a black orb. Well, let's take cloak, put on, nope, that's not, use cloak. You gain another magic. Got a lot of, you only have a hooded cloak now. Okay, so what did I say? There's a black orb sitting to the west. Go west. Okay, and this is where you run into another person. You've entered the orb, so you went into it actually, and it's pitch black and you can't see anything. But there's a guy here. And and he tells you random crazy stuff. Claims there's no way out, so let's go north. Guess what? You're in the orb still. If we go east, we're still there. Go west, south. Okay, we're trapped. So what am I going to do? I'm going to look at this guy. He's an ally. And he's got this thing. So it's a tiny orb. You can't really see it, blah, blah, blah. It's a neat marble. Take. Okay, now you've got it in your inventory. I'm going to use it. I lost some strength using it. But in the description it says the orb whispers at you. So here's the clue on how to get out of it. I'll be adding other traps to the demo version, so I'm giving something away here, but that's okay. So X, Y, Z, Z, Y. And I'm still in the orb. So it did nothing. Oops. Didn't want to do that. Okay, the arrow keys navigate from screen to screen, and I didn't, shoot. I didn't want to do that. So, anyway, here I am. And I keep typing on that damn thing. I need to disable the arrow keys because it's annoying. I keep hitting them. Okay. Okay. I use the magic word enough, it teleports you in the game. So I'm back in the east room. So that's how you can get out of traps, if you know the magic word. Okay, that's pretty much it for the demo game. It's enough to learn how to use the commands to play the game. The manual walks you through that. So if you bring up the manual here really quick. Hang on a second. And my apologies. Okay, so I am using LibreWriter, LibreOffice Writer for the manual. Why are you trying to do a printer connection? Oh, okay, whatever. Why is there an extra space there? Okay. Manual's 78 half pages long right now. So there's a quick start guide, and this walks you through. You open the game, and then the tutorial. So in the quick start guide, you're on the forest trail. It gives you it walks you through and says, oh, you should look at me, and you should use this command, and now go north. And then you get to the campsite and the tavern and the well. At the well, it teaches you how to loot a dead person. Back at the tavern, you go through the door, you go to the bar. It teaches you how to talk to somebody and how to buy stuff. And then you go to the tables. And there should be a title there for that. Oh, yep, I need to edit this. This is supposed to be a heading. And then the bard. You go upstairs, the hallway, the west room, and then you have a fight with the dude in the west room. Sorry, John. The chest, and then the end. So the tutorials gives you enough to be able to play the game if you use the tutorial. And then there's, the rest of the thing, like how to save your progress, and I should work that into the tutorial, how to save and stuff. So I should probably do that early on. Add, saving, loading, saved game. Alright, so we'll add that to the tutorial. And then it goes into the game controls and stuff. So I am looking for suggestions for material for this thing, both for the game and also the tutorial. So if anybody has any ideas or suggestions, if you feel like doing some sound work, if you come up with a character and a description for that character and stuff, if you want that character to have a battle cry or something like that, and you feel like doing some audio stuff, send me a WAV file or something, or an MP3, whatever. Doesn't matter the format. I'll convert it to AIF, and I'll add it to the game, and you'll be down as one of the contributors for that. So that's pretty much it for today. It is 10:30, so it's been an hour and a half. I found some work to do just by describing what I'm working on, so that's good. Let me switch back here. Anyway, thanks for joining today. I appreciate all of you and everything that everybody's done. Thank you for the contributions so far. It's really helping because now I can print manuals, and I'm well on my way to having something ready. Thank you for the contribution for music for the game. That makes it gave me an incentive to add a splash screen and credits for the end. So I had a place to play them, right? And thank you for joining and watching. If you like what I do, please subscribe. If you don't like what I do, go ahead and subscribe anyway so you can rant at me. Engagement is engagement, right? Hit the like button. all that stuff. You know, we have to feed the algorithm for that. You can find me on bitbang. So, well, it's all part of the outro. You can go to my website for adventure, which is it's just quackofdawn.com. There's links to everything there too. If you care to contribute monetarily, I've got a coffee. I also have a Patreon, and anybody that contributes to the goal for the game that I'm doing gets a credit in the credits of the game for contributing. So there you have it. Good day, everybody. And if anybody is going to be live streaming later, if you want to drop a link in the chat, feel free to. I am actually taking the next week off, so I'll probably be doing some streams during the week too. If you guys celebrate Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving. I will see you next time. Bye. I gotta manually do the outro because I don't have my controls set up. First world problems, right? Okay. See you guys later. Bye.